Okay, welcome everyone as we learn the Mishna Yomis for Motzei Shabbos on this Motzei Shabbos Parshas Tetzaveh, broadcasting here from beautiful Hollywood, Florida, in the home of Reb Leib and Bruchi Tversky, and we are learning the fourth and the fifth Mishnayos in Masechtas Nedarim, in the third parak of Masechtas Nedarim, sponsored Le'ilui Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. Also, we learn Le'ilui Nishmas Matz Yochai ben Yaakov for the Fushleim for Yomis ben Chayesara, and for the schools of Avram and Yom Benish ben Malchudis and family, by Yol Klugman and family, for their Panos Gzunta Nachas, and for Meir ben Chayesara. They should have a Refuah Shalema B'Sek Shachal Yisrael. This is a Mishnah that we just learned. We just learned this Mishnah in the Daf. Nedarim leharagin v'lecharamim v'lamuchsin. Let's say Marshall is approached by murderers or plunderers or illegal tax collectors to take his property, but he knows they won't take it if he tells them that it's truma or it's from the royal house. People have departmental abilities. They could be murderers, but they won't eat truma. So he can make a neder and say, all the fruit in the world should be usher to me if this is not truma or if this is not from the royal house. He can make a neder she truma, afal pi she'eina truma, even if it's not truma. Shein beis shel beis hamelech, that's of the royal house, afal pi she'einon shel beis hamelech. And the reason why I could do that is because when he says it should be, all the fruit of the world should be usher to me, he thinks in his mind for a minute. Now, even though normally that's not good, because dvarim shebalev einon dvarim, things in your heart don't count. But here, in order to free him from the murderer, from the plunderer, from the illegal tax collector, he's allowed to do it. Now, the allowance is an argument between Beisham and Beisil. Beisham yoimim bakol neidrin, you could offer a neder chutz mishvur, but you can't say a shvur. Or Beisil yoimim, you could even use the more convincing af b'shvur. Beisham yoimim lo yiftach lo b'neder. If the murderer, the plunderer, doesn't say make a vow, then you can't offer the vow. Beisil yoimim af yiftach lo. You could even offer the vow on your own. You could only make a vow on what he says. Make a vow that you should be forbidden all the fruit in the world. You could offer him, even make it more convincing. So Kate said, if the plunderer, the murderer, the tax collector says, say that I vow that my wife won't benefit from me. The Aimer, Beisil says, he could, and he says it more convincing. My wife and my children shouldn't benefit from me. His wife is permitted because that's what the plunderer asked. But a bun of asurim, but his children are forbidden because he shouldn't have offered more. The children are also mutter. He could offer even more to make it more convincing. Now the Mishnah tells us how in the Tias elu carbon, these saplings, there was a big storm. So he said these saplings should be dedicated as a carbon im eino niksasis, if they don't get cut down by the storm. Talis zeh carbon, this talis should be a carbon im eino nisrefis, if it doesn't get burnt in the fire. So the din is that they get a kedusha of hektish, and therefore yesh lem pidyon. He could redeem them if it doesn't get cut down in the storm. If it doesn't get burnt, it has a din of hektish, and he could redeem the money and buy with that money a carbon. If he says, however, hari netiyas elu carbon achi yekatzu, these saplings should be a carbon until they get cut down. Talizu carbon, this talis should be a carbon achi tisarv, until it burns. So then ein lahem pidyon, because since he said it should be holy until it gets cut down, if he redeems it, it becomes holy again. If he redeems the talis, it becomes holy again until it gets burnt. And therefore, there he can't redeem it, and it remains holy as a 4 hektish. We want to thank you very much for joining us, and for a long Matzah Shabbos, Tu B'Lat, and we look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow night. If you want to sponsor the Shir on Kisisa, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Have a wonderful evening.